welcome to your ETUlay online tutorial program. Tayo ay naglakbay sa nakaraang semester na puno ng pagkatuto at paglago. Join us again as we welcome the second semester of the academic year 2021-2022 dito sa inyong klaseng ETUlay. Here are your new fantastic tutors at your service.
ETUlay ang gabay sa pagkatuto. ETUlay edukasyon itatawid sa'yo. ETUlay paaralan nilalayo sa'yo. ETUlay sa makabagong panahon. ETUlay para sa kabataang Pilipino.
Every Thursday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Huwag kayong mawawala. Ating patuloy na saliksikin ang hiwaga ng humanidades at agham panlipunan. Laging tandaan, ikaw ang best tuwing Webes.
Maling impormasyon, katotohanan nating ituro, paunlarin ang edukasyon. ETUlay ang gabay sa pagkatuto.
Handa ka na bang masaksihan ang mga talent ng iyong ETUlay tutors? ETUlay Tutors Got Talent. Malapit na. Abangan.
Mabuhay! Isang mapagpalang araw sa ating lahat. Ako ang inyong lingkod, Tutor Madge. Welcome sa ating ETUlay, ang ating libreng online tutorial na hatid ng ating kagawaran ng edukasyon, ICTS EdTech. Ang programang ito ay inaasahang makatutulong at maging karagdagang kaalaman sa mga mag-aaral mula kinder hanggang senior high school, ALS, Alive, at SPED learners. Bukod sa pagsagot ng mga modules, ang ETUlay ay may mga special programs din na siguradong aabangan ninyo araw-araw. Katuwang ang ating mga minamahal na mga magulang at guro ay maitutulay natin ang pagkatuto. Kaya, ihanda na ang inyong module, lapis, papel o kwaderno. Ihanda rin ang isip, mata at tenga sa isa na namang makabuluhang aralin. Tayo nang matuto kasama ang inyong volunteer online tutor sa oras na ito.
All right, welcome to your ETUlay online tutorial program, and welcome as we open the Klase ETUlay for the second semester. Hello, you fantastic tuties! Again, I am your tutor A from SDO Nueva Ecija, Aliaga National High School.
And I am your tutor, Lovable Amor from SDO Nueva Ecija, Bartolome Sanggalang National High School. Welcome to Humanities and Social Sciences program.
Nako, I know that you are all excited sa hapong ito as we open the second semester. But you know what? I am more excited for Tutor Amor na makakasama natin as our new tutor dito sa DepEd ETUlay. Hello, Tutor Amor! Kamusta naman ang iyong pakiramdam? Bilang ikaw ay nasalang na dito sa ating pilot episode this week.
Hello, Tutor A. Good afternoon, and good afternoon to our learners who are watching out there. I'm so excited because this is my first time na gamitin ang platform na ito para maitulay ang mga dapat nating i-discuss sa ating mga learners. And of course, excited ako kasi makakasama ko ang isa sa pinakabatikan na TV broadcaster and tutor ng DepEd ETUlay, none other than you, Tutor A.
Nako, meron pang paganon. At ako din po yung nagagalak. But then, of course, Tutor Amor, I believe na marami pang mga bagay na aantayin sa'yo ang mga Eustastic Cuties. Kaya naniniwala ako na sila ay excited. Maraming salamat sa pagtanggap mo sa napakagandang oportunidad na ito upang makapagtawid tayo o makapagtulay tayo ng edukasyon sa ating mga mag-aaral. And with that, Tutor Amor, gusto rin nating pasalamatan ang ating napaka-sweet at napaka-loving na director, si Mami Joy. Thank you so much,
Hello,
Direct
Mami Joy.
for your guidance sa amin ni Tutor Amor this afternoon.
Yes.
Tutor Amor, batiin din natin yung mga nanonood sa atin ngayong hapon. Talaga namang merong mga nanonood na 7,000 viewers. Wow!
Yes. Napakadami
May mga
ng
ilang
ating
bati,
viewer,
ano?
ma. Okay po. Isa nga dito ay ang aking, estudyante ng Bartolome Zanggalang National High School, Mr. Rodolfo Kinan Granadozo. Hello, Mr. Rodolfo.
Hello! Ayan. Nako, naniniwala ako, Tutor Amor, na mamaya lang ay makakasama natin ang iba pa nating mga Eustastic Cuties. Kaya naman sa mga sumusubaybay po sa atin sa hapon na ito, please invite them by mentioning their name on the comment section at magsama-sama po tayo sa hapong ito as we give you the course offering that we have for this afternoon: community engagement, solidarity, and citizenship. Samahan niyo po kami sa buong semestre ni Tutor Amor para pag-usapan ang napaka-interesting at napaka-timely and relevant na subject na ito. Tama ba ako, Tutor Amor? Dahil as we believe that today, it's very important for our young people to become more engaged personally sa lahat ng mga kaganapang nangyayari sa kanilang komunidad, sa kanilang kapaligiran. At napakahalagang bagay na mas pag-ibayuhin. Wow, ang lalim naman yata nun. O mas patibayin natin ang espiritu ng pagiging makabayan sa kanila dahil bilang mga Pilipino, sila ang sinasabi nating pag-asa ng ating bayan, ang ating mga kabataan. So therefore, we believe that as you join us to this new journey in community engagement, solidarity, and citizenship, you will learn a lot about your communities, on how you can personally involve and give yourself for the progress and development of the community where you live in.
Yes, correct, Tutor A. And likewise, ang subject nito, community engagement, solidarity, and citizenship, entails the understanding of our very own community itself. So, binibigyan tayo ng pagkakataon or tuturuan tayo kung paano, alam naman na natin ito, but it gives us the idea of becoming more involved in our society from day-to-day process.
And that's
yes,
correct. And with that, Tutor Amor, alam ko, ready na ang ating mga Eustastic Cuties sa hapong ito. Kung kayo ay handa na, pwede bang paki-click nyo naman yung heart button or yung heart react natin dito sa ating live chat. Kung kayo ay handa na, pusuan nyo naman kami ngayong hapong ito. Kahit na tapos na ang February 14, ito pa rin buwan na ito ay ipagdiwang natin ang buwan ng pag-ibig. Tama ba ako? So I believe they are excited as we start Tutor Amor Eustastic Cuties. For this episode, we will be talking about the first module in CESC entitled The Concept of Community, Community Action, and Dynamics in Social Sciences.
And of course, bago tayo mag-proceed sa ating mga talakayan, do not forget to always subscribe at palagi manatili nating panoorin ang ating mga episodes ng Community Engagement, Solidarity, and Citizenship every Thursday from 4 p.m. to 4:40 p.m. At kasama ko dyan si ating Tutor A.
Yay! As we start Eustastic Cuties, let's have first an activity for us to be able to assess if you have a prior knowledge already about the topic or about the lessons that we will be talking about later on. And for our activity, for the directions, What are the meanings you can associate with the word community? Share your answer on the comment section. So can you share to us the ideas, the thoughts that you have when you hear the word community? Ano bang ibig sabihin nito? Ano bang pakahulugan ninyo sa salitang komunidad or sa Ingles ay community? If you have your answers, nako, wag ka nang mag-atubili, i-comment mo na yan sa ating comment section. Alright.
Right,
Naku, Tutor
sige.
Amor, habang siguro nag-aantay tayo ng mga ilang kasagutan, batiin natin ang ating mga school principals, no, sa ating school.
Yes.
Yes naman. Binabati ko po mula sa Aliaga National High School si Sir Pablito Manyalong, ang aming school principal 4, and of course, my assistant school principal 2, Madam Rizalyn B. Corpus. Magandang hapon po sa inyo at sa lahat ng mga gurong nanunood mula sa Aliaga National High School.
And of course, I'd like to take this opportunity para batiin ang aming masisipag na mga school principal at assistant school principal. Our school principal 4, Ma'am Evelyn S. Reyes, and our assistant school principal 2, Ma'am Perla Romano. Hello po sa inyo lahat dyan.
Ayan, Tutor
Ayan.
Amor, nakakita na ako ng ilang mga kasagutan sa ating comment
Yes,
section.
Tutor A.
Sino-sino po kaya sila?
Ayan, so sabi nito ni Rod Granadoso from Bartolome Sanggalang National High School, it's a process, sabi niya. Community is a process. And another one is comment from Milchor Jamsay. Community
Ay, isa siya sa
refers
mga
to
tutor
the word
natin.
society. Yes, isa sa ating tutor talaga naman na in love siya na panoorin ng ating segment. Hello, Sir Jamsay.
Yes naman.
Ayan.
Alright. Meron pa ba, Tutor Amor? Ayan, mag-antay pa tayo.
Mag-antay pa tayo ng mga comments siguro ng ating mga tutors. And
Correct.
pati na rin ang ating mga co-tutors na sumusubaybay sa atin ngayon. Ayan.
Yes naman po. Hello po sa inyo lahat. And all of those answers are correct, Tutor Amor. And we will later on discuss it deeper, the meaning of community, as we proceed to our lessons for this afternoon. Maraming salamat sa pagbabahagi ng inyong kasagutan. And as we start, let's establish the objectives for today's episode. Tutor Amor?
Yes, at the end of this episode, the tutees should be able to, first, identify the concept of community and its importance. Second, relate the definition of community dynamics and community action in social discipline. And third, recognize the various career options in applied social sciences for community action initiatives. And those are the 3 objectives of our topic or module for today.
There you go, to you, Stasik Chutis. And of course, we would like to acknowledge or recognize the SDO Bataan for allowing us to use the modules that we will be using for this afternoon. Maraming pong salamat sa inyong pagmamahal at suporta dito po sa ating ETUlay. And with that, let's start our discussion.
Yes.
And our module for this afternoon is all about the concept of community action and dynamics in social sciences. For our lesson number 1, we will be talking about the concept of community.
Okay. So, before we proceed, Tutor A, doon sa marami pang discussion na magaganap, let us first identify the etymology or yung pinagmulan ng salitang community. So, as being said in our slide, the word community is derived from the Latin word communitas, which is in turn derived from the word communis, which means common, public, and shared by all or many. Okay. So sa Tagalog, aking itatagalog, ang salitang community ay nanggaling sa salitang communitas, na ang communitas naman ay nanggaling sa salitang communis na ang ibig sabihin ay common, public, and shared by all or many. Diba, Tutor A?
That's correct, Tutor Amor. And having said that etymology of the word community, you will be helped by the 7 definitions on community
Correct.
based on Abenir and Alipao 2016. There are 7 definitions on community that we will be talking about. And as we start, let's have the following definitions. The first one, it is a group of people living in the same place or having a characteristic in common, such as norms, religion, values, or identity. The second definition is it is a group of people who share the same things, such as where they live, work, and play. If you can see on your screen, definitions 1 and 2 express the same thought about the definition of community or the meaning of the word community, meaning that community is a place where a group of people living here or is sharing, no, a common thing about them, so they share this certain commonalities with one another, and
Yes.
these commonalities could refer to the norms, religion, values, identity, even the place where they live, work, and play. So it means that the people living together in a community are interrelated with one another with that distinct commonality that they have. Going to the
Correct.
third definition, it is also a place where people solve problems together in a form of collaboration and teamwork. They don't just share common things or they are not just interrelated with one another, but they also have this sense of unity, this sense of being one in a common goal, one in solving a certain challenge or difficulty as they face it. So, ibig sabihin na ang mga tao nakatira sa komunidad ay hindi lang basta nakatira, kundi may pakailam din sa isa't isa. At sila ay
Correct.
nagkakaisa to resolve o to solve problems together by having collaboration and working hand in hand.
And of course, to continue with the 7 definitions, tutor A, we have here the fourth definition. It says here, it could be characterized by age, group, race, gender, religion, shared belief, traditions, rules, market structure, and location. So accordingly, we can say, or we can also define, if a group of people having the same sharing the same, like you have said a while back, common, they're in a group. So like for example, group of teenagers, so we can say that they are
Yes.
community of teenager. Another example, group of LGBT. Ayan, gender in
Yes.
terms of gender. So we are calling them the community of LGBT or LGBT community. Or another example is that if you are located in the same municipality, say
Mm-hmm.
example, Gimba. I am located at Gimba and all of the people here living in Gimba is called as community of Gimba. Okay? And the fifth one is that it is a durable relation that extend beyond immediate genealogical ties, also
Mm-hmm.
define a sense of community. Okay, parang sa Tagalog, kung ikaw ay nasa angkan, genealogy means angkan. So buong angkan ng maglangke, pero yung angkan ng
Yes.
maglangke ay nahaluan ng iba't ibang apelyido kasi sila ay nagsipag-asawa or nagkaroon ng asawa. So those immediate ties or extension of genealogy is also called or belong also to a community. Ayan.
That's
And
correct, Tutor Roma. And to
yes, Tutor
continue,
A.
definition number 6, it defines as social ties in their identity, practice, and roles in social institutions. So the people living in a community are bonded with this what we call social ties that could refer as family, home, work, government, or humanity at large. They are being tied together. They are binded together by having this certain identity, practice, and roles in their society. So maaaring ito yung kanilang pagkakakilanlan, ito yung kanilang nakagawian, ito yung kanilang roles and responsibilities they are serving in the community. And then the last one, it refers on the feeling of a fellowship with others because of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. And of course, the very essence of this, what we call community, is this fellowship. And when we say fellowship, you are able to relate with one another. You are able to connect with one another. And you are able to celebrate together. And of course, kung makikita natin ang isang community ay nagsasama-sama, nagtutulong-tulong at naipapakita ang pagmamalasakitan, ang bawat barangay o komunidad na ating kinabibilangan ay magkakaroon ng paglago at progreso. So those are the 7 definitions of the word community according to Abenir and Alipao 2016. But then, yung static duties, the question is, ano yun, Tutor Amor?
The question is, why do we need to study the concept of community? Bakit nga ba, Tutor A? Let's find out. Okay, so the first one is that it aims to enhance your sense of shared identity. So when we say shared of identity, dear cuties, this is somehow belonging to a group of people who view each others as member of the group. Parang ikaw, kinikilala kong miyembro ng grupong ito at ako ay kinikilala mong miyembro ng grupong ito. And in colloquial term, we are calling it as we-ness. Ayan. Sa Tagalog, ito yung tinatawag nating pakikipagkapwa. Ayan. And the willingness to contribute to the pursuit of the common good of the community. You know what, guys? Tutor A, when I say willingness, pumapasok dyan yung salitang voluntariness. Ayan.
Yes,
Halimbawa,
that's true.
sa isang community, sabi ni barangay captain, kailangan nating dagdagan ng mga puno sa ating barangay. So the common good is ang pagdadagdag ng puno or dagdagan ang puno sa ating barangay. And
O
then
pagtatanim ng puno.
yes, tree planting, should I say. So yes, so bilang isang mamamayan, ikaw ay magprepresenta because you are willing to contribute in the pursuit
Correct.
of the common good of the community. Ang tawag naman dyan, Tutor A, sa colloquial term or sa Tagalog term, ito yung pakikiisa. Ayan.
Correct. At pakikibahagi. Ang ganda nun, Tutor Amor.
Yes, Tutor A.
The second reason why we need to study the concept community is that it enables you to integrate applied social sciences in solving social problems and issues into community action initiatives. When we say applied social sciences, it is the study of the society we live in and the relationships people have within the society. So bilang isang mamamayan o bilang isang naninirahan sa inyong barangay, it's very important na maunawaan natin kung ano ba ang mayroon sa ating komunidad. Kung ito ba ay binubuo ng gaano kadaming tao, anong klaseng pamumuhay at anong pinagkakabuhayan na mayroon tayo. At the same time, nakikita rin natin yung pagpapahalaga sa relasyon ng bawat mamamayang nakatira dito. And we call that as applied social sciences. And when we are able to learn the meaning of these applied social sciences, we will be able to solve any social problems that we encounter. At alam natin na iba't ibang klase ang mga social problems na ating kinakaharap sa panahon ng ngayon. Katulad na lamang ng kawalan ng trabaho, maaari din ba ng pagkagutom, o kaya naman ay ang kahirapan. At ito naman ay magiging ang tuntungan din natin bilang mga mamamayan upang mag-isip upang magplano sa kung
Correct.
paano ba natin masosolusyonan ang lahat ng mga bagay na ito. And we call that as community action initiative. So kung
Correct.
sabi ni Tutor Amor ay meron tayong tinatawag na pakikiisa or pakikibahagi. Pag sinabi natin initiatives is that ikaw ang nangunguna, ikaw ang nagpapakita ng intensyon na ang lahat ng mga bagay na ito ay masolusyonan upang inyong komunidad ay maging progresibo.
Tama, Tutor A. And the last but not the least is that it gives you a holistic perspective in
Yes.
which socialization, collaboration, and camaraderie are vital in improving the quality of life in the community. So there you go, Tutor A. Accordingly, if we understand fully, wholly, or entirely the perspective of socialization, pakikihalubilo, collaboration, pakikipagtulungan, and
Mm-mm.
camaraderie, pakikipagkaibigan, we will then know how to improve the quality of life in our community. Kasi kapag alam po natin kung paano natin totoo na ia-apply ang tatlong nabanggit, the collaboration, socialization, and camaraderie, matututo tayo or we will learn now how to improve the quality of life, not only you, but of course, involved dito yung mga tao na nakakasalamuha mo, natutulungan mo, at nagiging kaibigan mo. Yan.
That's
So
correct.
those are the three reasons, Tutor A, why we need to study the concept of community. And that ends our lesson 1. Ang bilis,
Yes
Tutor A. That
naman,
ends
di
our
ba?
lesson 1. And for our second lesson, Tutor A, ano nga ba ang makikita or matututunan natin sa ating second lesson?
For our lesson 2, let's talk about the different perspectives of community. After discussing the definitions of community and the reasons why we need to study this concept, let's now take a look of the different perspectives of community according to the different authors that you have on your module. And let's begin with the first one, the perspective of community as a social science. All right. When we say social science, we define it as the study of the society and the manner in which the people behave and influence the world around us. So we perceive the community in a social science perspective wherein we determine the behavior, okay, or the manner on how people live in a certain community. Of course, they might uphold different cultures, or sa madaling salita ang iyong barangay ay maaari namang mayroong distinct and unique culture na pinangangalagaan, at kami din naman ay mayroong tradisyon na patuloy na kinikip. And with that, we are able to learn on how we influence one another with the traditions, with the practices that we uphold, and at the same time with the manner and behavior, or this what we call the way we live in our community. So that is the first perspective of the community as a social science perspective. What about the second one, Tutor Amor?
Community as an applied social science. So basically, we already learned applied social science in our subject, or some of the schools offered the subject of DIASS or DIAS last
Mm-mm.
semester, or this semester na papatapos na. So when we say applied social science, Tutor A and Tutis, these are the knowledge-based theories,
Mm-mm.
principles, and methods of interdisciplinary disciplines of social science. And examples of this applied social science are the counseling, yan, yung ating social work, and the communication. Ayan, maaaring sa ating community ay may mga taong nangangailangan ng ating paggabay or pagka-counsel, or yung ating, halimbawa may problema sila sa family, may problema sa mga anak, may problema lalo't higit pa ngayon na laging nararanasan ng ating mga estudyante or learners, yung kanilang mental health na nangangailangan, of course, ng taong pwedeng pagsabihan at taong pwedeng hingan ng payo para maibsan or hindi man maibsan, mabawasan yung kanilang nararamdaman na problem. Especially ngayon na meron tayong tinatawag na problema sa mga mental health, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga learners, and not only them, pati tayong mga teachers or tayong mga guro ay nakakaranas din ng tinatawag na problema sa mental health. And then, in social work, ayan, so maaaring sa ating community ay meron tayong mga activities na ginagawa natin para lang mapabuti ang ating community or magkaroon ng magandang gawain sa ating community. Okay, and the third one is Tutor A.
Community as sectoral perspective. We view the community as a sector wherein meron tayong tinatawag na different structures in a community. Maaaring ito ang sektor ng agrikultura, sektor ng kapaligiran, sektor ng pagpapanatili ng kapayapaan. Nakikita natin ito bilang isang structure na siyang pundasyon ng kaayusan sa ating komunidad. And each sector na ating nabanggit ay pinamumunuan ng particular na leader kung ating tawagin. At ito ay mas pinaaayos, pinayayabong upang sa gayon ay sa pamamagitan ng pag-empower or pag-strengthen ng mga different sectors na ito na meron ng komunidad ay mas napapalakas natin ang kakayahan ng ating komunidad na makatayo sa kanyang sariling mga paa. These sectors have different roles with their advocacies and programs na siyang ating ini-initiate para sa kapakanan ng ating mga mamamayan dito sa ating komunidad. So with that, meron tayong 7 different perspectives of the community, yung statistic duties, ngunit minabuti natin na mamili lamang ng 3 because we are limited sa oras na meron tayo. Kaya naman, having said those 3 different perspectives on the community, we believe that you were able to deepen your knowledge and understanding about the concept community. And that ends our lesson number 2 for today's episode. Now, it's all about to go to the third lesson. Ano nga ba ang lesson number 3 natin, Tutor Amor?
Okay, but before we proceed in our topic, lesson number 3, community dynamics in social science, there are lots of comments that I can see in our comment section. Sabi dito, nagtataas si Enrico Dalupan. Ayan. Sabi ni Marilyn Armeldez, good day po, watching here, Las Piñas City North Elementary School, Vergonville.
Hello po.
Ayan. Hello po sa Las Piñas City North Elementary School. Okay, so to proceed, our third lesson is about dynamic in social sciences. So, it is the forces or properties that stimulate growth, development, or change within the system or within the process. It refers also on changing social relations and patterns in the current structure. Now, Tutor A, I would like to just pinpoint one of the words na masasabi nating maaari niyang i-define yung salitang dynamic, and that is the word change. Ayan. Kasi when we say dynamic, we are changing. Ayan. Changing in the sense that maaring tayo ay nag-grow, maaring nagde-develop ang process na meron tayo sa community. Example of this is that, a very good example is the changes in our educational system. Ayan. So, kung dati, before, we are only required to finish our grade 6 hanggang sa 4th year high school, ngayon naging K-12 na, di ba? Tama ba ako?
Correct.
So, at kayo nga ang naging produkto ng ating tinatawag na K-12 education program ng ating society. So, why we shifted in that? Because kailangan nating mag-develop. Sabi nga, one of the aims or objective ng K-12 is that pagkatapos ng graduation ng K-12, maaari nang makapasok or mag-land sa job opportunity ang ating mga graduate. So, nag-change ang ating society, depende kung ito ay mag-grow, magde-develop sa mga process na pwedeng mangyari. Okay?
All
Yes, Tutor A,
right.
do you want to say something?
Now let's proceed to the community dynamics. So when we say community dynamics, it refers to the process of change and development within communities. So the goal of this concept is to bring about positive social change through community-based projects and program. Having said that, we believe that the constant thing in this world is change. It also
Change.
reflects in our community. But then this change, it has a process, right? It doesn't happen in just a snap or overnight. It takes a series of process to realize the change. But then the thing is, it's very important as well na naisi natin ang pagbabago sa ating komunidad dahil ang disenyo ng komunidad ay ang paglago. Ang disenyo ng komunidad ay ang pag-develop hindi lamang ng mga
Yes.
mamamayan kundi ganun din ay ang iba't ibang sektor nito. Kung ang komunidad ay mananatili na lamang stagnant or ibig sabihin walang paglago or worse, mas talo pa itong naghihirap. Nako, merong malaking problema. Kaya if we are talking about a change na hindi lang basta pagbabago kundi a positive change, we call that as community dynamics, in which we refer to the development that is happening in our community. Not only just the people living here, but all forms of the living organism in the community.
Yes.
Andyan ang kapaligiran, andyan ang kahayupan, andyan ang mga mamamayan, andyan ang natural resources na meron tayo. Hindi lamang tao ang nakikinabang sa komunidad, kundi ganun din naman lahat ng aspeto na mayroong buhay. And at the same time, it is putting the community as the center of the services development and services delivery. Kaya naman, ang pinakamahalagang bagay ay mayroon tayong programa, meron tayong inihahanda o ikinakasang aksyon at mga bagay na makatutulong upang ang lahat ng development na ito, ang lahat ng changes na ito ay mag-reflect sa ating komunidad dahil ito ay nangangahulugan na ang progresibong komunidad ay patuloy na susulong.
That's correct, Tutor A. So that is why the importance of community dynamics is that this concept will help a person to work with community and to think creatively and act strategically so that community can achieve their goals. And aside from that, it promotes creative and sustainable projects that work to raise the quality of living for that most vulnerable sector in the community. So, from the word development, Tutor A, we can already say that community dynamics is important to raise the quality of our living, and most specifically and especially the vulnerable sector of our community. So gaya nga lang sinabi mo kanina, Tutor A, ang community dynamics ay napaka-importante kapag ang positive ang nagiging result.
Correct.
Sapagkat nare-raise nito or naitataas nito yung kalidad ng ating pamumuhay. Maaring mahalaga na ma-erase din natin yung kalidad ng pamumuhay ng mga taong nasa belong sa tinatawag nating vulnerable sector. Ayan, katulad ng mga mahihirap, ayan, mga magsasaka na patuloy na naghihirap, paano kaya ang gagawin ng ating mga involved na tao na pwedeng gumawa ng paraan ang katulad ngayon, Tutor A, lalo tayo ay nasa Nueva Ecija at Rice Granary ng Pilipinas. Nagrereklamo ang ating mga
Kababayang
magsasaka.
magsasaka.
Yes, kababayang magsasaka na sobrang may mga mahal na mga insecticide, pesticide, mga
Nagmahal ang lahat ng mga
nagmahal ng
kagamitan
lahat
sa
ng
pagsasaka.
tama. Pero pagdating ng anihan, naku, nakakalungkod. Bakit ganon? Hindi pa umabot, lalo pang bumaba yung presyo ng palay. So, yung mga ganitong bagay, Tutor A, ay napaka magiging palasak na pag-uusap sa ating subject kasi tayo ay involved or engaged sa ating society because we are going to look everything in our society para ito ay mapag-usapan.
That's
Yan.
correct, Tutor Amor. At tayo ay nagsisimula pa lamang, marami pa silang kailangan abangan, kaya wag na wag silang mawawala at tumutok sa ating
Correct,
ting
Tutor.
araw ng Webes. And with that, meron din tayong tinatawag na functions of community dynamics. We have a 5 functions specifically. But then let's begin with the first one. Community dynamics serves as a sociologist, meaning it is concerned about the norms, functions, and planning of social policy of a specific community. Community dynamics also looks at the social policy that we implement in a specific community. At marami tayong iba't ibang halimbawa ng social policy na pinakamahalagang bagay ay naa-adapt natin at sinusunod natin sa isang komunidad dahil ito ang nagbibigay ng panuto sa ating pamumuhay, ito ang nagbibigay panuto sa pakikipagkapwa natin, ito ang nagbibigay panuto upang makita natin ang kahalagahan ng bawat bahagi ng komunidad. Ano-ano nga ba yung iba't ibang social policies na mayroon tayo sa ating barangay? Andyan ang tapat mo, linis ko, o andyan ang mga kabataan sa pag-iwas sa droga. Kung makikita natin, ito ay tumutukoy sa iba't ibang polisiya na may kinalaman ng ating komunidad at naglalayo na mas mapanuto at mapaayos pa ang pamumuhay ng bawat mamamayan. Pangalawa naman ay yung tinatawag natin na political scientist. It means it involved in the formulation of policy and governance in the community. These policies, the formulation of these certain policies do not compel you to commit to commit something against the law. Ngunit ito ay gumagabay sa iyo upang mapanatiling maayos ang governance or ang pamamahala sa isang komunidad. Dahil imagine kung wala tayong political na polisiya o wala tayong mga panuntunan, mga kautusan na nag-govern sa isang community, hindi siguro natin mapapanatili ang kapayapaan sa isang komunidad at magiging malaya ang mga tao sa paggawa ng mga bagay na kanilang naisin. So with these certain functions, these govern the peace, this govern the security of every single person living in a community. And aside from this two, meron pa tayong tatlo. Ano po yun, Tutor Roma?
Yes, to continue with, third is that economist. It involved in the designing the market structures, the human capital, and the trade. So, sa economists, they monitor the trends or the changes when it comes to the energy costs, sa inflation natin, sa interest rates ng ating community, sa mga presyo sa ating community ng mga bilihin, sa mga imports and exports natin, and of course, ang pinaka-importante dito na tinitignan nila ay employment rate natin para makita nila kung gaano ba nagiging mabuti or paano nagiging mabuti ang kabuhayan or ang buhay, estado ng buhay ng isang tao sa isang mamamayan. Okay? At ang pang-apat or the fourth is the anthropologist, which examines biological, archaeological, linguistic, or sociocultural traditions in the community. So as we all know, ang mga anthropologists, sila yung in charge doon sa pag-i-examine, pag-analyze, pagtitest, pagkukumpare ng iba't ibang kultura or different cultures, kung ito ba ay nag-grow, kung ito ba ay nagde-develop, and of course, yung interaction ng bawat isa or interaction ng isang tao sa another person or interaction ng isa't isa. Ayan.
All right. And then the last one among the functions of community dynamics is demographers. It is concerned on analyzing the population, including birth and death rates in the community. So, from the term itself, no, we are talking about the statistics. We are talking about the number of people living in a community, including the birth, the ones na pinanganak at ganun din yung death rates na meron tayo. And
Yes.
specifically dito sa Pilipinas, ilang populasyon na ba ang meron tayo? Bagamat sabi natin hindi ganun kalaki ang bansang Pilipinas, but did you know that are already we already have 109 million Filipinos, 'di ba? Naku, naalala ko tuloy yung sinabi ni Catriona Gray, no? Parang sinabi pa niya yata 104. After years, nadagdagan na ito ng 5 million. So we call
Yes,
that
ang
the
bilis.
demographers who are concerned about the population, the statistics of the people living in a community. Nako, Tutor Amor, kailangan na natin to gawing mabilis dahil time check, mukhang mag-overtime tayo. Kailangan nating tapusin ang lesson 4. It's all about community actions in social sciences. All
So
right,
let's
Tutor
proceed
Amor.
already in the definition of action in social sciences by Max Weber. According to him,
Mhm.
Max Weber is a renowned, kilalang sociologist na nag-emphasize sa mga actions ng ating
Yan.
society. According to him, action is social if the acting individual takes account of the behavior of others and thereby oriented in its
All
course.
right.
So, sabi niya, in order to take account of the behavior of others, you get to be or you need to be engaged to them. Ayan. You need to understand them. Ayan. So,
All
next
right.
slide, Tutor A.
We talked about community dynamics. Now it's all about time to talk about community action. And when we say community action, it refers to the different activities, no, that increase your understanding, that increase your engagement and empowerment of the communities in the design and then the delivery of local services. So we don't just observe the dynamics happening in the
Correct.
community, but we take actions, no, on how we could positively direct it into a progressive result. At ito ay sa pamamagitan ng mga programa, ng mga activities na siyang magpapalawak pa ng iyong involvement sa community, and at the same time, mas lalo pang magpapatibay ng komunidad na ating kinabibilangan. And I believe na maraming iba't ibang community actions na ini-initiate sa ating barangay. Andyan yung katulad ng tree planting, andyan ang pag-empower ng livelihood, andyan din naman ang pagsisecure ng ating environment, at ganoon din ang ating education. So all of those activities, we call that as community actions. So now, Tutor Amor, let's talk about the purposes of community action. Ano-ano ba yon? Let's begin with the first one.
Okay, the first one is building community and social capacity.
Yes. Tutor
And the
Amor?
second one, Tutor A.
Okay, and the second one is we call that as community resilience, which refers to helping one another to realize or achieve a certain goal. The next one is
Prevention. Ayan. Prevention in the sense that we have to, gaya na nasabi natin kanina, kung kaya nating alam natin kung ano yung gagawin natin sa community, mape-prevent natin kung paano mag-loss or magkaroon ng loss sa ating community. Ayan. We
That's
can
true.
apply programs, ayan, na pwedeng
Correct.
mag-angat sa atin. Ayan.
And then the last one is maintaining and creating wealth. We help our people to improve or develop their economic status by providing employment or livelihood education for them to economically grow. At naniniwala tayo na ang bawat mamamayan ay mayroong kakayahan upang lumago ang kanilang pinansyal at economical na kalagayan. So those are the four purposes of community action that we want to achieve in our community. And aside from that, we also have this community action in social sciences, and we have 5. The first one, Tutor Amor, is
is the community action specialist. So ito yung mga
Yes.
tinatawag nating mga person na pwede nating mapagtanungan or person na nagde-develop ng programs para ma-develop more ang ating community. They are called as community action specialist.
And we also have the journalist and then the news anchor, ang tagasulat ng
Yes.
balita at tagapagpahayag ng balita. And we believe that media is very much important sa ating komunidad, lalo tigit sa lahat sa panahon ngayon na ang laki na ng impluwensya sa atin ng media, particular ang social media. Kaya it's very important na tayo ay makaalam ng mga accurate and factual information. Kaya sa mga kabataan, sikaping ang mga balitang inyong nababasa at napapakinggan ay tama at totoo.
And
The last
the fourth
two-
and the fifth are counselors and the social work. Ayan.
Yes.
So counselors, kailangan natin yan sa ating community, lalo't higit pa at maraming mga bagay tayong nararanasan ngayong ngayong nangyayari sa ating kapaligiran. And social work. Ngayon, share ko lang kasi sa nung dumating ang ating ang pandemic, nung dumating yung time ng pandemic, medyo nabawasan yung pagkakaroon natin ng social work kasi nga Tutor A, 'di ba? Binawasan yung ating physical contact to each other. So, ang madalas na nangyayari ay nagkakaroon tayo ng webinars through virtual training. Ayan. So, yun yung madalas na nangyayari ngayon or hindi man nililimit lang yung contacts ng bawat isa. Maring 5 lang, 10 tao sa
Yes.
isang lugar. Ganun.
All right. So those are the 5 community actions in social sciences, and we are done with our module 1, the concept of community action and dynamics in social sciences. So for us, USASIC tuties, to assess your understanding about the topics that we discuss, let's have this post activity. So what you are going to do is, Tutor Amor?
Okay, so you draw the like sign if the statement is correct, and dislike sign if the sentence is incorrect. You may also write your answer in your own journal for the purpose of practice of the activity.
Yes, and of course, comment down on
Yes.
comment section your answers for our activity. Let's begin with the first one. Sociologists are concerned about the norms, functions, and planning of social policy of a specific community. Is it a like or dislike? What do you think is the correct answer?
Okay, what's the answer? Yes.
Comment down below.
Tutor.
Hello po, Tutor
Comment
Michelle.
na. Hello
And of
mga
course,
cuties.
Tutor Arlene. Good afternoon po sa inyong lahat. So if your answer is like, you are correct. Very good, cuties. Next, Tutor Rama.
Second is that the concept of dynamic in social sciences is the forces or properties that stimulate growth, development, or change within a system or process. So ano kaya yung sagot dito, Tutor A? Is it like or dislike? Ayan. So, may mga sumasagot dito. Okay. It's
Yan.
right.
So if
Correct.
their answer, Tutor Amor, is like, they are correct.
Correct.
All right, so let's proceed to the third item. Demographers are involved in designing the market structures, human capital, and trade. It is a like or dislike. What do you think is the correct answer? Maraming salamat kay Marilyn and kay Rod. Hello, good afternoon. Tutor
Good
Amor, kung ang sagot nila ay dislike,
Dislike.
they are correct. Very
Correct.
good,
Okay.
tutors. And with that, Tutor Amor, proceed tayo sa second activity.
Yes.
Napakadali lang. Carefully read the following items and choose the letter of the correct answer. Let's have the fourth item. Tutor Amor.
Okay. So the fourth item is that it involves people giving their time and other resources for the common good in a range of forms from volunteering to community-owned services and peer networks to community organizing. Is it A, action, B, dynamic, C, kaya norms, or D, society. Ayan. So, comment na your answer in our comment section. Ano kaya ang sagot sa question number 4? Okay, wala pa
What
akong
is your
nakikita ang sagot, Tutor
answer?
A. So,
Ayan, nako.
meron tayong isa dito. So, sagot,
Alright.
it's B, according to Rod Granadozo, B, dynamic. Tama kaya yung sagot ni Rod Granadozo, Tutor A?
Alright, the correct answer is letter A. It
Ay.
is action. Maraming salamat. Now let's proceed to the last item. It pertains to the role of the community plays, the types of activities involved, their scale, and their integration within the council. What do you think is the correct answer? A, B, C, or D? Comment down below your answer. Okay, come on, yung Sasik Cuties. Well, if your answer is letter A, you are
You are
correct.
definitely correct.
That's true. Community action. So, there you go. Tutor Amor, maraming salamat sa lahat ng ating mga estudyante, sa lahat ng mga guro, mga mag-aaral na kasama natin. Sa hapong ito, maraming pong salamat.
Okay, thank you. And for your comments and suggestions, you can email us at edtech@deped.gov.ph.
And of course, samahan nyo tuwing araw ng Webes ang inyong mga Yumstastic Cuties dito sa Humanities and Social Sciences sa buong semestre mula alas 4 hanggang alas 6 ng gabi. And of course, kami ni Tutor Roma o Tutor Amor from 4 o'clock to 4:40 ng hapon sa Community Engagement, Solidarity, and Citizenship. With that, Yumstastic Cuties, again, ako si Tutor A na nag-iiwang, ang kabataang makabayan ay dangal ng sangkatauhan. Magkita-kita tayo sa susunod na linggo.
And this is your lovable Tutor Amor na nagsasabing walang mahirap sa batang may pangarap at nagsisikap. Patuloy po tayong sumabaybay para sa subject na Discipline and Ideas in Applied Social Science nila Tutor G at ni Tutor Rayo.
Laging tandaan, ikaw ang best tuwing Webes. Paalam!